Hey, what's up, guys and gals? Rick90 here. So happy to have you on here. Ooh, yes. What a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. I wonder how many people will be actually watching this because we have that Super Bowl coming up. So I'll make sure to give everyone a little bit of time. I don't know. Do you guys watch the Super Bowl? Is that a thing? I don't. I don't, but I know some people will. So I don't know if we'll be light today on viewers or we'll have more viewers. I don't know, but I'm sure we'll have more later repeat viewers, right? But hopefully everyone's doing amazing today. Thank you for starting with the amazing thumbs up and the amazing comments there. How is everyone doing? Just a heads up, people say, how do you know you're on the live stream? Subscribe, of course. If you're already subscribed, hit that notification bell and make sure to hit all, and that'll let you know that I'm on a live stream or I posted a video. Very cool. Hello, Pumpkin. And hello, everyone coming in the chat. Awesome. Oh, I see. Some people don't like the certain teams. Even here in Los Angeles, people are like, who are you going to root for? So, well, that means a lot. Thank you. Rather watch me than the Super Bowl. Well, not that much violence on this one. So, yes, awesome. Yeah, so today, just checking in with you, seeing if you want to do a longer live stream or shorter live stream. It's up to you guys and gals. I'm going to be playing a little bit of Lucy, but we can talk about the main topic of the day, and that is laugh tracks. Are they great? Are they not great? Do you like them? What shows? These are all questions that could be answered, could be asked by you. I always take questions about the shows, about YouTube. You can ask me about like how YouTube works and how I post videos. Like, I want to share as much as I can. And if I can't share something, I'll let you know. But yes, so I know people will definitely be maybe leaving the stream because they're going on football world. But anyway, laugh tracks. Should they be used? Should they not be used? What shows use them well? Because I think there are a few. What shows did not use them well, or was like maybe made the show worse or not watchable? And then what shows mysteriously the people think that they do use laugh tracks, like I Love Lucy, all at that. Not a laugh track. And people continue to argue with me about that. It's kind of funny. But no, if you know the show well, you will find out how that's not an accurate thing at all. So yeah, very cool. Arthur, apparently there's a Super Bowl. So you're asking me who am I going for? Apparently there's a Super Bowl. Hopefully I can jump in, put some cereal in there. The greatest Super Bowl ever. Hey, Randy. Have a great live stream. Well, thank you, Randy. Probably going to watch the game, right? Pumpkin. So what shows overused the laugh track? People think the Addams Family. So we're talking about the original. What are my thoughts on that? I think it's interesting to note that I rather kind of like the laugh track on that show because here's my thing. It was such a, not correct. It was such like a dark toned show for the 60s, dark, all that. So to hear the laughs, now live audience would have been great, but they used one camera. It was a one camera thing. And so it would have been kind of hard. The system doesn't work for one camera. You only use 3 cameras, and that's what you do with the live audience. So they had to use, a laugh track. But I think it worked kind of well because it balanced the macabre stuff on the other side. But that's just me. Joe, you can't stand laugh tracks. Every line is hysterical. Even shows that have live audiences sweeten up the laughs. Interesting point. I like that. You know which I really like him on Gilligan's Island? I don't know why. I feel like there's an episode. Oh, the Gilligan's Island movie, which I have when they get rescued from Gilligan's Island. That is so weird to me. There's no laugh track. Yes, they're older. It's just like silence, and it's weird. I don't like it. It even makes it not as fun. It even seems like the tone is off on the show. It's like something's funny, boom, like I know a joke, a punchline, and then they do the face, like Gilligan's like, what? You're like that, and then there's nothing. And then I'm just like, how? It just seems weird. I don't know if you've watched that, if you've noticed that, and if you agree or disagree, because you definitely disagree. No, I don't watch football. The only real sports that, oh no, I'm not gonna do it in quotes. They are sports, so I don't know why I did that. The sports that I watch are soccer, and I watch the World Cup mostly. That's the only soccer I watch for that tournament, and then Formula One. And yes, Formula One is a sport. If you want me to explain why, I can gladly explain. Laura, you don't usually like laugh tracks, so let me know a show that you may like, but that has a laugh track, and you don't like that it has a laugh track. Janice, you think laugh tracks ruin it. I'm kind of summarizing what you're saying. It's not enough funny when they use the laugh tracks. Okay. MASH used a laugh track. I haven't seen much of MASH, which is weird because I actually like war stuff, like war movies, war stuff. And I love Hogan's Heroes, and that's definitely war. And I just don't know why I don't like MASH. Honestly, the actors, there's just something about the actors, but then I may just sit and have to watch an episode and it may be good. I don't know. But a lot of it is like doctor stuff, right? Like medical. It's very medically oriented, and that's just not my thing. What's the time here? It is 2. Oh, it's right there. 2:38. I'm looking at the analog, but it's blocked by my mic stand. And then here I have it like digitally, so I can just read it. But that's funny. Oh yeah, it's fun. It's like late morning. Well, it's not that early. No, I finished lunch not too long ago. Going back. Yeah, I feel like I have to apologize for YouTube. I can't control that. And really the only thing we can do is to keep suggesting it because that's like the best we have. And people have gotten results. Believe me, that's why we keep saying it. Like, when we tell you hit the notification bell, make sure to go all. Don't unsubscribe and subscribe. Don't do that. Just stay subscribed and hit notification all. Very important. Because if you do like some or few, or I don't know what the other choices are because I never mess with that. I just do it once and then that's it. Yeah, if you hit all, it should help. It doesn't guarantee to help every single person. And I don't know why it's like that. It's just, it is what it is. And I apologize for YouTube, which I can't control, but it's a platform I'm on. But yeah, hopefully that gets fixed. We've been saying that for years, so I'll just say that. 6:30 a.m. there. Holy moly. Is it a Monday? Pumpkin, where are you? Are you in Australia? Or like the Philippines, like that side of the world? That's crazy. Some people don't mind laugh tracks, but I have a lot of people that say they don't like them. How about live audience laughs? Do you like that on a show? We're talking about live audience. We're talking about like I Love Lucy. That is one. Another one, Three's Company. Live audience laugh uses a 3-camera system. Very similar setup to I Love Lucy. So if you watch Three's Company, I'm trying to think of others. Most have laugh tracks that I've covered. Hogan's Heroes. The Stooges don't have any laughs, and I like it like that. I really don't want any laughs to be added. Home Improvement, these are newer shows. Family Matters, that is live laughing. That 70s show. I can't see the ones over there, but yeah. Oh, you're in Singapore. Well, welcome, Pumpkin, all the way from Singapore. That's awesome. I haven't seen The Big Bang Theory for the most part. I was under the impression that it was live studio audience, but I can't speak for the show because I don't know the show well. So I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, Married with Children was interesting because I did watch episodes when I was younger, and there was a lot of like, woo, like that type stuff that you can like, yeah, and stuff like that, and like more of a rowdy audience. And that is clearly like it's different every single time. It's clearly not a laugh track that was, in person. So I thought that was interesting because it even seems like I Love Lucy, obviously live studio audience, right? Whenever you had the celebrities coming in, you had claps, right? But they were very proper claps. They weren't like wild, like, well, yeah, I love you. You didn't hear that. It was just very polite type audience clapping. And I think that obviously speaks to the time, whereas like we're talking 80s, 90s, Married with Children, you had like things shouted out and that would be kept in there. So I don't know, just a thought from me. So Janice, you rather have live laughs and no laugh tracks. Live laughs and yeah, I think that's the ideal. The thing is, some shows you can't do that. So that's a good question that we didn't ask. So why would a show use a laugh track? I'm sure a lot of you may know, but do you want to try the answer, and then I can kind of fill in the gaps. So why do you guys think a show would put a laugh track in there? Yes, Laura, that was Lucy's mom. She was at every episode. She was the uh-oh lady. Yes, you get a better vibe, and it's obviously catered to what is happening on screen. So what I like is, and that's the thing, like you can tell these are casual watchers. Not that that's a bad thing, but they're arguing aggressively on something that they don't know much about, which is kind of hilarious. And it's like you can listen on I Love Lucy. I watch it so much that I listen to these subtle things. You can hear there's a different type of laugh for different jokes. There's some jokes that are just so hilarious and they burst out laughing versus like little chuckles versus a snicker here and there. There's one where you've heard that a couple times, obviously because some of these same people are in the audience, and so you would hear that. But yeah, there's different volumes in the laugh. There's variety. It's not just a continued constant ha 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 laugh, if that makes sense. It's not monotone. How did I find all these old shows? Very good question. They started doing something in the 90s, and that is they started with cartoons, and then you would get into more adult programming, but it was very gradual. So you would start with like really kitty shows at like 5 a.m, 6, 7, and then around 8 you would have like more like cartoons that were more like with punching and more like kung fu type stuff. So there was a little bit of kid violence in there, and then it would move up to maybe even bloodier cartoons, and then it would move to live action like I Love Lucy. Like they would put like I Love Lucy on there, and then I would see it. And Lucy did such a great job on her show introducing us to all these relevant actors and actresses that from there it spread out. So basically I wanted to know who Tennessee Ernie Ford was. I wanted to know who John Wayne was. Remember, I had not known about any of these people before I Love Lucy. I was 3 years old, and so why would I be exposed to any of these, right? And so I branched out. I was like, who's John Wayne? Who's the Marx Brothers? Then Charlie Chaplin, then the Three Stooges. It's just like an avalanche. Once you start watching Lucy, because she has all these guest stars, Bob Hope, and right, it just keeps going and going. Milton Berle, boom, just all these huge names. So kind of cool that they were able to do that. That Lucy is now more popular than pretty much everyone who's ever on her show, which is nuts. Hey, Johnny, nice to see you on the live stream. Yeah, so Heather says, I've heard laugh tracks for shows that can't film in front of a studio audience for some reason, cliffhanger episodes or location episodes. Is that why? Boom. That's basically it. That's a great point. And your answer is correct. And may I add to that another point, which is also great to note, is the single camera system versus 3. So 3, that's when constant motion is happening, like in front of a play. So it's like you got to move from here to here. You can't just use one camera and go back, because then you would see the moving, right? Because when one camera would be live, that is like, that's what you see on your screen. The other camera would be positioning. Once this is set, it moves from here to here. So you just see straight shots. It's very much a dance. And something like the Munsters, remember, there were special effects on that show. There was a lot of like gags, sight gags, cranes that would lift cars, cranes that would lift things, because, Herman Munster was so like strong. So you can't have a live audience seeing that. It just doesn't make sense. You would cut to bring the crane in. There was a lot of setup for shots. And so audience gets bored. So you can't film. You would film a 20-minute episode in a week versus I Love Lucy, where you film a 20-minute episode in 45 minutes because it's run straight through. So hopefully that makes sense. And it's really interesting to me. It is really interesting to be able to know the difference between those shows. I Dream of Jeannie, laugh track. Why? A lot of Jeannie shots, the smoke, the mirrors. Jeannie appears, bang, right? And then disappears. So all of it. Yes, Alondra. So speaking of cartoons, have you ever seen the reruns of the Flintstones with Laugh Track? I think it's over there, but yeah, I have several of the episodes. Yeah, and they do have a laugh track, and I would say, if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the few cartoons with like laugh tracks, right? And I've heard that apparently the Honeymooners was a play off of Flintstones was a play off of the Honeymooners, so that's kind of interesting. Will Martin, any chance you could do a full video of Hogan's Heroes? What do you mean about full videos? I have many videos where I cover the show Hogan's Heroes. I have a playlist, probably around 10 or more right now at this time. Dwayne has a good question. I can't verify because I don't know much about the show. You're asking about the Dick Van Dyke Show. I have heard, so don't take it as a fact, that the Dick Van Dyke Show used recorded I Love Lucy laughs. Someone who would know that would be Casey. And she has a channel on a lot of Dick Van Dyke Lucy stuff, so she could probably tell you, but I think it is true. Again, don't take it as fact, because I know about Lucy, but I don't know about the Dick Van Dyke Show. Remember, Lucy was very groundbreaking, very pioneer in the spirit. Oh, Will, so you mean when I cover complete episodes of Hogan's Heroes? Yeah, I would totally do that. I'm kind of working on the Stooges now. I'm dreading, honestly, thinking of the idea of possibly doing like two shows at once, and one being like, it's not that it's bad, but it's like I may lose track, and I really want to be able to go through the show, even if I'm doing it at slow pace, but be able to complete the entire thing. Hogan's Heroes, I don't know off the top of my head how many episodes in the entire series, but it was several years, and so I'm thinking over 100. So the next show that I'm gonna do, where I go through every episode for you, will be a series that doesn't have a lot of episodes, because I want to be able to finish it. I'm thinking Gilligan's Island, Addams Family, Munsters. Those are the three that are on top of my list, because those are the three shows that were like canceled very early on. So yes, we'll see. So stay tuned. But I definitely want to do eventually Hogan's Heroes. Absolutely. Oh, so Alondra, so you're saying Dick Van Dyke shows have live audiences? Interesting. I didn't know again. But thank you for sharing that with us. It's great. It's great to know. Hey, Martin. Country Club Dance with Barbara Eden. Great episode. I love it. She's like, hello. And Fred's like, hello. and Ramsey, what's his name? It's Frank Nelson. I forgot. Oh, geez, what's his first name? Ralph Ramsey. He's like, how do you do? And Ricky was like, hello. Oh my gosh. Jared, don't even remind me about that. Oh man, the Munsters, Addams Family, Gilligan's Island, that they couldn't stay longer. I would have loved to see more of that stuff. Even if it wasn't that great, like, I don't know, I just would have wanted so much, especially Gilligan's Island. I would have wanted 3 more seasons. I would have been, I know that sounds like a lot, but it was 3 seasons. I would have wanted 3 more, and I'd be set. Like, I didn't need 10, 15, 20 seasons. I'd be set with just more. They could have done so much stuff. Yeah, but something to keep in mind, that they could have done so much. Yes. Hey, Miguel, thank you. You say you love all my videos. Keep up the good work. Love all of your I Love Lucy videos. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, big I Love Lucy community on here. A good Three Stooge community. Not huge, but it is on here. Definitely a lot of you. Munsters, Hogan's Heroes. I Dream of Jeannie. Some I Dream of Jeannie fans on here. Oh, man, I can just keep going. Addams Family. Gilligan's Island. Strong Gilligan's Island group here for sure, and some overlap, of course. Hey, Adrian. No, I've never seen Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Some people have asked, like, for me to do like old movies and stuff. I have done reviews on old movies, but I think what I would do is like the ones that I would break apart maybe, or like Hitchcock I would love. Like, if I would take Rear Window, which I really love, I have it over there on my shelf. I would love to like break it down, like break down certain scenes, like go through it. So it's like, the shame about movies is that, yes, it's like two hours-ish long, roughly. But then the problem is it's done. You can't really revisit it. Yeah, you can have part 2, but it's like once it's done, it's done. Whereas a TV show can live on for years, right? And you can there's so much juice you can extract out of the characters and so forth. Whereas a movie, you can't. So it's like a movie, you can kind of dive back, but the material isn't as much, obviously. But people do that. There's a Star Wars channel out there that was the 6 main movies. He's gone to 1 million subscribers. So you can always do it. Get Smart. Yep, I have the whole series. Definitely a show that I can do in the future. Paul G just found my channel. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. It does help us out. It is absolutely free to subscribe. Can't believe people thought it was not free to subscribe. Believe every single video that I posted on here is free. Will remain free. Subscribing is free. So why not do it? Plus, it's a kind gesture for someone like me who is wanting to reach 100,000 subscribers. Look at that. Was that cheesy enough? Oh yeah, and I forgot Batman. Wow, Batman's on this corner of my shelf, so I couldn't really see it. But yes, Batman 60 show. Lots of content on that. Oh yes, oh yes. See ya, Pumpkin. Thank you so much for coming. Paul G, you subbed and hit the bell. You're awesome, Paul. Big shout out to you for being a new subscriber and hit the bell, all that good stuff. Amazing. Supporters like you is what a channel like mine needs. Awesome. Oh, look at this. Ricky being a cowboy. They call me Texas Pete. I don't know why that is such a corny thing, but I love it. He's singing Cuban Pete as Texas Pete because he's doing the rodeo. I love that episode. Don't ask me why. It's just so funny. Like Lucy doing the bells. They're all doing the bells, right? And she's trying, oh, give me a home. And then Fred brings one of his cronies. I don't know. I just love that episode. Ricky's gun belt falls down. It's just great. Great. ANJ. Anj. Do you watch I Love Lucy every day? Pretty much. Yes, it is. Oh, so great question. Was the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour filmed in front of a live studio audience? Yes, but as they got crazier, there were sections where they couldn't put it in front of an audience. So like the uranium episode, that was the first one that like most of the episode was not filmed in front of an audience. It was filmed right in the desert, some scenes. So that kind of messed up the vibe of the show. Hey, Anthony. Varechia. Thank you so much. I see you also on Instagram, liking my post, and so I appreciate you and your support. So cool. Thank you. Ooh, I got a little stomach thing. Stomach one. Ooh. Yes, Larry Potter. Very sad about Gilligan's Island. Ratings were great. It was a cheesy show, but that's the point. I think if you would have not noticed that, you were missing the point of the show, right? That's the whole point. Batman, cheesy, campy. Yep, that's what it is. That's what people loved about it. Lucy was more on the realistic side, although there were some crazy things that happened. I mean, when in the starch vat, I mean, she almost choked on a grape, right? Stomping on the grapes and stuff. So she kind of, I would say she was more like reality, walked the fine line of craziness. Batman was more like cartoon. Well, yeah, it was like a live action cartoon. Think about that. And that's the thing. Like when people say, oh, these shows were like weird or not great, they were so cheesy. I was like, some of these shows were like kids shows. Batman was for kids. And most of you who have watched it were kids when you watched it. That makes sense. It's the colors, it's the vibe. And that's kind of the point. There was no blood. Not that a lot of these things could have blood and stuff, but you know, it was for kids. It was entertainment. Oh, Arthur, so you wanted to ask, why do you think Batman was canceled? Batgirl, definitely, you can't deny that she did not affect the tone of the show. Took away from the boys, right? And honestly, that's what most people tuned in for the first 2 years. It's just the reality of what was going on. But there was also a bit of a lag in season 3 with money. It was an expensive show to make. Remember, there was a lot of guest stars who were very popular at the time. They were big stars at the time. It wasn't like a show where they were like before they were stars, you know? So they commanded a lot of money. They were a huge part of the budget, Adam West. And then there was a lot of just with filming and stuff, and people lost interest to other shows as well. So yeah, it's, It's something to keep in mind. So why do they not show some episodes like Harpo Marx and Dancing with Van Johnson? So they don't show it in syndication that much? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Some episodes, believe me, they cut down many episodes, and sometimes there are episodes where you can't because it cuts out a lot of the plot. So they'll play the ones that benefit them where they can put a lot of commercials in and extend the commercials. So think about that. I don't know if those shows are like that. Yes, I Love Lucy can make a lot of people's days sour, and excuse me, not sour, from sour to so I meant I Love Lucy can brighten people's days, right? Take away the sour days, right? And so what I love about it that other shows don't do is that it can make you happy, it can bring you up, and it's a show where like I can fall asleep to, and if I happen to wake up, there's no danger of what you're gonna see. It's always gonna be positive. It's always gonna be funny. Except for a couple episodes, which I don't like. Happy Sunday, Scott. Agent 99. Agent, guess what? Agent 014. They never show this Christmas one in syndication. Yeah, because there's reasons for it. Remember, that one they kind of found later on in the 90s, I believe they found it. So it was relatively recent. It didn't run with the regular episodes. It was like a special thing they did. So yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes, I am a pilot. I'm officially a pilot. A plane driver. Someone was like, how often do you drive planes? And I was like, I mean, I get the idea, but I've never heard so usually most people say fly planes, right? So it was just like something where it took me out of my loop. So I was like, often? Do you suggest seeing them in color? I do, but go back to the black and white. That's how they were made to be filmed. Remember, if you imagine those transparencies that they used to use with black and white, and then you can color on top, right? It's like, remember, the show was entirely catered to black and white. They wore specific things, specific colors that were zany. No matching. It was just like outrageous. And most people in the 50s, they didn't wear stuff like that. Like if you look at what 50s outfits were, they were kind of, I wouldn't say silent, but they weren't like that bright and stuff. There were things here and there, but it wasn't like as crazy as like some of the colors on I Love Lucy. And that's because they want contrast for the black and white. The pinks were very important because pinks almost look like dark black, like this in black and white. And so you see this is very clearly black and white, black and white. You never see, but you see how like you can tell. But in black and white, you see these shows, there's a lot of different variances in the grays, and that is with different colors. So that's a great thing. Can I fly a 747? Absolutely. In my dreams. Oh, I almost spilled my water. Oh, wow. That's funny. Cheryl, so you think if it's made in black and white, then it should stay that way. You've noticed they colorize some of your favorite movies and you hate it. You know, I've seen some of those colorized movies and I'm just like, ugh, you know? Think about it. The Wizard of Oz, right? That was made to be like black and white and in color. That's what's amazing about it. It wasn't just like, hey, we're in 2020, let's colorize the second half of Wizard of Oz, right? That's not how it worked. And so you have to recognize the difference. And you have to see its limitations, the coloring. It's like, I've done it before where you have those transparencies and they're black and then you color over them and it just doesn't look original. It doesn't look great, but that's the point because that's not how it was made, right? So, yeah. How do I get my information for I Love Lucy? I read a lot. I do lots of research. I listen to interviews. If you put your mind to anything and study it, you can know so much about anything, whether it's history, whether it's a show. It's really amazing. And I found that out years ago that is something that I could do. I'm not a full-time pilot, no. Ever plan on ever doing a meetup? Maybe in the future if my channel grows even more, because I feel that even with 60,000, which is a great number that I'm very appreciative of, you're all spread all over the United States and even some over the world. And so I don't know if I would make one in LA, let's say how many people would come. I'd be like, one person shows up, maybe like my uncle or something. But yeah, you know, and I don't expect people to like fly out to see me and stuff. And so maybe in the future, for sure, if the channel grows, absolutely, you know. And I always think, like, what if I run into someone who watches my channel, which is funny because like I'll go out to a restaurant or something, and I've only had 2 experiences like that, and it was years ago. So I was even smaller. It was kind of funny. One, they were for my card channel, but yeah. Anyway, you like black and white as it makes you feel part of the show. Okay, can you elaborate on that? How does it make you feel like you're more part of the show? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I can do a world tour, Cheryl. That's funny. You should, Arthur. I mean, you gotta understand what it is. It's Wizard of Oz, right? So, Christopher, you'd come to LA. Dang, that's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know how many. Well, I'd have Christopher. I'd have 1 subscriber seeing me. Meet up at the Batcave. That would be awesome. Oh, Anthony, hopefully I did your city justice when I went to New York. I would tell you, okay, I was excited to go to New York, right? On my way there, I was a little nervous. Then when I got to New York, I'm not gonna lie, the first night I was so overwhelmed. I wanted to get out of the city. It was just so much. Like the subway, I was like, where am I going? Am I gonna get lost? Like I felt like I got swallowed in the city, and it was very intimidating. Then I woke up with oh my gosh, I love the city. Like it was, and I wanted to do everything. I wasn't like afraid anymore. It was weird. It was a weird like night thing, but yeah, I love it. I love it. It's going amazing, Peter. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting. Oh, episode ended. Here, let me put the second one here. It takes about 4 days to get used to New York. I was in New York for a week, and I got used to it in a day. So I understand. I understand that feeling for sure. Oh, I need to watch Staten Island Ferry. I love that episode because I was actually on the Staten Island Ferry and on Staten Island. So yeah, not that they were ever on it on the show. By the way, that's a fact. I did the last Lucy video, inside or outside, or yeah, outdoors or indoors. I'm gonna do more of those, and I think those are really fun. It's something that I came up with myself, so I'm copywriting that. And yeah, I want to go to more episodes, show different scenes, and let you know, was this inside or outside? Because this episode, Staten Island Ferry, uses many scenes from outside versus actual Staten Island Ferry, and then when they were on the boat, they weren't. So that'd be something that I can cover in a future video. So that's very cool. Peter, of course, that's what this is for. You guys can ask questions. Of course, I would ask that you keep it, you know, in line with the shows that I cover or any of those shows that you may like. Personal life, of course, I'm pretty private, but you know, I'd share as much as I'm willing to share. And then, yeah, about YouTube, I'd be happy to answer what I can about. Bunny Rabbit. Why have you never watched Leave It to Beaver? I've never had an interest, honestly. Seemed too normal.